Welcome to the Indie Beacon Show, where readers can discover great new books by indie authors. Your hostess for today's show is Mary Ann Faremouth. We hope you do enjoy today's show.
Welcome to the Indie Beacon Show, a division of Authors Marketing International, an organization that supports authors and its affiliates all over the world. My name is Mary Ann Faremouth. I'm a multi-genre author, career coach, speaker, and corporate trainer. And today I'm just delighted because I have with me someone who personifies the definition of a Renaissance woman. The Renaissance woman definition is a woman who is interested and knows a lot about many things. And that for sure is who we have with us today, Nkem DenChukwu. Nkem is a very accomplished individual. She has a degree in computer networking and a master's in healthcare administration. But her first love, her real love, is the arts. And I met this lovely woman in 2019 at the Houston Literary Awards. We were both finalists for the Book of the Year, the Award of the Year. And Nkem, of course, won that award and then also went on to win the award for 2020. She started writing when she was 10 years old, and the rest is just history. She's written, I believe, 14 books and produced 13 independent films. She's written for the Oprah magazine. She's been a guest on ABC 13, Fox 26, CBS 11, NBC 2, Forbes, and Voice of America, VOA, to talk about her work. She's the mom of four and a lover of life, and helping to remold the mindsets of the younger generations through the arts remains her passion. So with that incredibly long introduction, without further ado, help me welcome my friend, my respected friend, who I really admire, Nkem DenChukwu. Nkem, say hello to everybody.
Hello. Thank you, Mary Ann. Thanks for having me here.
Well, we're thrilled to have you. You know, you're so accomplished. You've done so many things. And, you know, as a recruiter, it's wonderful to see someone with such a diverse background in computer programming, networking, healthcare, writing, filmmaking. I mean, it's amazing. Tell us, we're here to talk about your books, but tell us about your first book, Echoes. I know a lot of your books are written for kids, but that one wasn't. And what was your inspiration to write that book, Nkem?
Tribal Echoes, well, actually, when I couldn't get a job in the healthcare industry, it was so frustrating. I just decided to, well, I didn't really decide that, but I was talking to a friend of mine in LA, and he was like, you love to write. You're always, writing stuff when you're texting. It's like you're writing a book. Why don't you just, put things down in writing and just write a book? So I figured rather than being frustrated, like keep looking for jobs, let me just put my energy into something positive. So, but, I wasn't sure what to write about. And, but a lot of times when I have conversations with people, especially the Nigerians, one thing always stood out about how we tend not to teach our children the language, So I figured, okay, if I can write something that will hopefully inform, empower, inspire, educate, especially adults, because I mean, you as an adult, when you learn something, hopefully you will grow from it. And when you learn and grow, naturally you will teach others. So I just figured if I can write something like that and just put like inspirational stories in the book to hopefully inspire so many people. That's how that came about.
Well, that's amazing. And, filmmaking, I mean, you've started filmmaking in 2012. I mean, that's a huge accomplishment. How did you get into that?
My book editor at the time, he's a film director. So while he was editing my book, he told me that they had an audition coming up. So I was like, okay, that would be cool. So I said, let me come over, see how it works, and maybe they can hire me to cook, because I love to cook. But I ended up coming into the whole production. And at the end of the production, I ended up being one of the producers. So that was my first production, it was 2012 or 2013. So my last production was in 2017, Tribal Echoes with, I'm sorry, not Tribal Echoes, Lone Star Deception with Oscar nominee Eric Roberts.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Wow, wow. You don't fool around, do you? That's amazing. How exciting is that? Well, the one thing that I've always, you're so accomplished in so many areas, but the one thing that has always been so impressive to me is that, you write a lot for the younger generation. And I think, Nkem, that's so important because starting putting things in the younger people's minds is so important as far as how they grow and develop. But tell me why you decided to write for the younger generation.
Well, I mean, it's easy. We all know, we've been told so many times, we've read it in so many places, that children are the future. But the future, a lot of times the future may never come, and the future is right now. So I felt that if I'm able to, put like words down and use the power of spoken words to the same thing, to inform kids and educate, empower them. Because when you really think about the kind of world, digital age that we live in right now, it's so easy to confuse and mold the minds of the younger generation quicker, So it doesn't mean that writing or from books that is the only way that I can learn, but I just figured if I'm able to use like social issues, things that are happening around us today, and use that to hopefully make a difference in their minds, because whatever we do starts from the mind.
It does. So that's this whole new, philosophy we have about mindfulness that's so big these days. But yeah, I truly believe that with the digital world, I think we need even more of that these days to make sure we keep our children grounded and have them have an appreciation of the arts and soul and kindness and those kinds of things.
Absolutely.
Not just about other things that are digitally related. But your books, are they always fiction based? I mean, are your children's books fiction based? Are they? I mean, what is the genre of the majority of books you write?
Fiction based, but they are, I like to describe them as reality fiction based, because a lot of times they're inspired by stories, experiences. It could be just maybe I'm having a conversation with you or with someone on the phone, or talking with my kids, or maybe my mom said something in my language and it just sparks like this idea in my head. I'm like, oh, I can use this to come up with a story, So, but I try not to use like people's, you can write a story fiction based, but inspired by a true story, So it really depends, but mostly fiction.
Okay. Well, I have on my docket to write a children's book. I'm now a grandmother of a 6-year-old beautiful little girl.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And every time I see her name is Scarlett. Every time I see her, we do a lot of FaceTime. I tell her, Nkem, she's the prettiest girl in the world. And she gets so excited and she loves to hear that. So maybe I'll write a book about that anyway.
Yeah, you should.
I might. All right. So these books, the 2019 Houston Literary Award and 2020, were those both children's books, or what kind of books were those that won those prestigious awards?
The children's books, really. Yeah. I actually have the awards. I don't know if you can see them behind me. I don't know if you can capture that, but yeah, they're right behind me. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Well, we have a couple minutes left, and I just wonder. I heard what you said about your writing was prompted by the fact that you couldn't find a job, but being a computer networker and then having a master's in healthcare and then loving the arts, it's almost like there's two sides of the brain here, because the left side is more the linear side, the right side's supposed to be the arty side. How do you integrate that so much and do it so well?
Well, I mean, like I said, like you were just already mentioned, the arts, that's my first love. It has always been. And it's not just the arts of creative writing. I love photography. I mean, I don't really like being in front of the camera, even though a lot of people think that I love being in front of the camera because I've been interviewed a lot on the news. But I mean, that comes with what I do. So I see myself as an artist. First of all, I love to cook. Cooking is an art. I love to write. Writing is an art. Then taking pictures, still photos, that's art too. So I think I would like to think that I was born to be an artist like that. So if I know, well, how do you say it? If I knew what I know now, maybe I would have gone into like, gotten my first degree or master's degree in, it's not too late though, in creative writing. So, but I wasn't really guided well. I came to this country 28 years ago. So if I was really guided in the right way, I would have.
Okay.
I would have.
All right. Well, let's hold that thought and let's let our sponsors do their thing, and we'll come right back.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Elle Ballard, and I'm the founder of Women of the World Network, a supportive entrepreneurial community of multinational women. I'm excited to announce we have second series launching for our anthology, Recipes for Body, Mind, and Soul, on April 7th. If you'd like to participate in any of our future anthologies or just check out our community, visit womenoftheworldnetwork.com.
Welcome to B4R.store, a bookstore for indie readers and indie authors, where indie authors can earn their fair share from the books you purchase. We have a wide variety of genres that you can select from. We also have ebooks and paperbacks. You can select authors by their first names, and we also have music. If you're interested in their city or country, we have that listed as well. If you are an author and would like to be on our bookstore, we have 3 options for you. There is a small minimal charge, or you can join our organization at authorsmarketing.org and learn how to better market and sell yourself. That is B4R.store, a bookstore for indie readers and indie authors.
Hi, I'm Charles Brakefield.
And I'm Rox Berkey.
Together, we write as Brakefield and Berkey.
Our techno-thriller series is 12 books strong, with book 13, The Enigma Tracer, planned for 2022.
Techno-thrillers are the cyber good guys versus today's darknet thugs.
We added our series prelude, Out of Poland, a 1939 historical novella, in 2021.
We also have 8 short stories available in family and women's contemporary genres, with more planned for 2022.
Please visit our website, enigmaseries.com, to learn more about why we say technology is today's weapon of choice. Thank you.
Welcome to the Indie Beacon Show, where readers can discover great new books by indie authors. Your hostess for today's show is Mary Ann Faremouth. We hope you do enjoy today's show.
Welcome back to the Indie Beacon Show, division of Authors Marketing International, organization that supports and helps authors all over the world. My name is Mary Ann Faremouth. I'm a multi-genre author. Today, I have the pleasure and honor to have on my show a friend of mine, a colleague of mine, that I have the utmost respect and admiration for. She's a brilliant, smart lady. She's been accomplished in the computer networking area, healthcare area, but she has this ability to write and inspire people and young people. And Nkem, welcome back. We're so glad to have you on our show. You've done so many things. You've written 14 books. You've created, 13 films. You've been on, in Oprah magazine and on all the major stations and interviews of very affluent people. You've done so much, but now what? What's on the docket, or what's on the horizon for the future for you? I mean, hopefully the pandemic, the worst of it is behind us. What kind of projects you have going forward?
Well, writing books will always be there, always. I mean, when you look at my MacBook computer, is sometimes I feel sorry for it. I have a lot of information there, but I love making movies. I love making motion pictures. So I have a couple of projects, but I mean, currently it's what's delaying those productions are still funding. The pandemic messed up a whole lot of stuff, or rather delayed a whole lot of stuff. So I'm hoping that at least we get funding for one of the projects. Then, of course, that I'll be able to film one of the big projects that I have this year. But I have a series, no, what is it called? Talk show that I am actually producing for this amazing woman in Houston here. So that's definitely something that I have in the works. And of course, I'm currently working on my first animation of one of my books, you know.
Well, that's amazing. That's amazing. Well, you're a mother of four, and you know, I see you on social media, and you're always so family oriented. You know, I'm Italian. I'm all about family. I'm always cooking too, and you know, I consider myself an artist. In fact, so funny. I just taken one writing class. This is back in 2014, and I happened to go to San Antonio one weekend. I sat there, and somebody said, "What do you do for a living?" And I said, "I'm a writer." My girlfriend looked at me, she's taken one class, you know, for 38 years. But I think when you really feel in your soul that that's who you are, and is that what you're saying, essentially?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you feel it, you know it, you live it, you breathe it. So, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
But it seems like you know, you have a lot going on. I mean, you write books, you produce films, you know, you're on all these talk shows, you're in Oprah magazine, which is, wow, what an honor to be in that. You know, what kind of things do you like to do in your spare time, if you have any?
Well, I like to watch movies. I just recently finished season 2 of Bridgerton.
Which one?
Bridgerton. You know, the series. Epic series. You need to watch it.
Yeah, is it good?
Mm-hmm. So I like to do that. Of course, I love to cook. I really love to cook as much as I love to write. I love taking pictures. My neighborhood, we have man-made lakes that we have alligators in the lake. So as much as that dogs scare me, alligators scare me, but I'm actually more comfortable. We're getting closer to alligators.
Oh my goodness. Here comes another book, huh? About the alligator, the nice alligator, huh?
I read well, it's not about alligators, but one of my children's books is called, what is it called? Alligators, but it's ALLEY-gators. The bullies, so it's about bullying, the bullies of Poughkeepsie. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it seems that you have a prevailing theme, though, in your books. And it's all about, you know, like with the one book you wrote, The House Without Christmas.
Oh, yes.
It was a short story about the need to believe in miracles because they happen every day. So it seems like a lot of what you write about is about hope. And where did that come from? I mean, is that was that part of your ancestry? Is that kind of the family embedded that into you? Or where did you get that beautiful spirit of hope that is in everyone?
Well, hope, I don't think that anyone should live without having hope. You know, I mean, a lot of times we feel hopeless, you know, regardless of what we see on social media. People put on makeup, wear nice clothes, take pictures, do selfies and all that. A lot of times they use that as, you know, as a cover up. You don't know what people are. We will go through something, you know, we all do. So I do believe that having hope is magical. So a lot of times people struggle to have hope. And so to have hope gives you relief. I mean, this book really, The House Without Christmas, was actually inspired.
Well, let me see that cover. That's a beautiful cover. Let me see. Oh yeah, what a cover. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Where is that? Was that just somebody drew that, or is that actually place?
No. Well, no, it's just illustrated. But I gave him an idea of what I wanted because the book, the title, not the book, the title was inspired by a house in my neighborhood, like 6 houses away from mine. You know, during from spring to like fall, just before Christmas, you see people, you see cars parked. Then Christmas time, there's nobody there. Like 5 years. I'm like, is this house haunted? You know, so much wanted to like take the agent's number and ask me something wrong with this house. But one day I was passing by, it just hit me. I was like, this house is without Christmas. I said, ooh, I can write a book about that. But it's not, the book is not, the story is not inspired by the house, but the title is. So I just, you know, merged all that to use it to remind people the need and the importance of having hope. Because without hope, What do you have?
Really, no.
Down home, what do you have? Yeah. Mhm.
No, it's very important. I agree with you. But some of your other titles, are so interesting. Put me in your shoes.
Yes.
See me, don't judge me. When hearts touch. And then this one, Adira, An Orphan's Tale. It
Odera.
sounds like
Yeah.
your books are, it's about a situation where somebody is you're trying to give them hope and uplifting them at the same time. And it's like that's the prevailing theme. Am I right?
Yes, to an extent. Like Put Me in Your Shoes is my first book on racism. I never read on racism before. And I know one of the parents called me and said, "Oh, I read this. It's really good, but I don't know if I should talk to my 8-year-old about it." I said, "Yes, you should." Because this is like, it's in the air. It's everywhere. So you need to teach them about being kind, and teach them about oneness, about one love, So then the book Odera, I use that's an Igbo name. I'm Nigerian Igbo, I'm Igbo. So Odera, the full meaning is saying like destiny, the will of God. That's what it means. And the story just basically surrounds this girl who was autistic, but because they lived in the rural area, nobody knew what autism was, of course. So the father basically blamed her for the death of her mother because she was born during childbirth and because this child didn't speak until past age 3. So to the father and some of the villagers, she was possessed, exactly. But they didn't know this girl was autistic and she was speech delayed. So yes, even in that story, even though it's relating to mental health, mental illness, mental wellness, hope is still surrounded by it. Somehow, I don't even know how I do that.
That's wonderful. Well, it's your beautiful spirit, I think, that just shines through. All right, well, let's let our sponsors do their thing and we'll come right back.
Yes, ma'am.
Each and every one of us has a mission in life. Mine is to help people laugh through the good times and the bad. My name is Charlotte Canyon, and I am an author, a speaker, and a host on Indie Beacon Radio. If you need me to speak at an event or autograph my book, you can contact me at charlotte@charlottecanyon.com. Thank you, and have a blessed day.
Authors Marketing International, a membership-based organization where members learn how to better market and sell themselves. Join us at authorsmarketing.org. Hi, this is Beyond Bourgeois. I am the founder and director of the B4 Art Bookstore. We are in our warehouse, and as you can see behind me are some of the books that we have for the short story contest that we run annually. It begins March 1st and runs through July 31st. Of course, if you win, you get copies of the books you're published in, the anthologies, and they go out to libraries and schools. So a great way to discover new readers. Check it out, b4r.store, and good luck. Welcome to the Indie Beacon Show, where readers can discover great new books by indie authors. Your hostess for today's show is Mary Ann Faremouth. We hope you do enjoy today's show.
Welcome back to the Indie Beacon Show, division of Authors Marketing International, an organization that supports authors and writers all over the world. We're speaking with Nkem DenChukwu, a very accomplished Renaissance woman who's done so many wonderful things, writing 14 story books and also 13 film productions, and been on all kinds of social media and big networks, including Fox News, CBS, many. We've just talked about, Nkem, how what you write about is all about hope. So for our listeners out there, if they want to connect with you, if they're on the fence about what they want to do, or they want to read more about what you do and your beautiful books that you've written, and they want to get one for their child or whatever, how do they get a hold of you?
I have all my books on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, Target. But like for autographed copies will be from my website, which is my first name and last name, nkemdenchukwu.com, or through my Instagram handles. Same thing, at my first and last name, Nkem DenChukwu.
Okay. Well, if all of you are listening, we're on several podcast channels and you're listening and you didn't have a chance to write that website down, you can always go to Faremouth.com, my website, or authorsinternational.org, and get the website. But Nkem, we've talked about all these wonderful things that you've done. If we have listeners out there, authors that are listening or want to be authors, and you give them a couple of tips on inspiration or hope, what would you tell them? Say you got some people out there listening that maybe they've been writing a book. I mean, it took me 4 years to write my first book, but maybe they've been writing a book for 5 or 6 or 10 years, and they just can't quite finish it. What would you tell them? What are the 2 tips of advice somebody as accomplished as you are would tell them?
I mean, first of all, you have to have a reason that you're writing, or a reason that you want to write. Then, of course, then write. Don't just think and wish or hope and dream. Write. If wishes were horses, come on. So you have to just do something, take that first step and write. Even if you start writing using journals to write or using your iPad to take notes, just write. And when you're inspired, that inspiration will move you, rather than even starting with like maybe 1 paragraph or 1 page in a day. Just that inspiration just guides you, and you probably just be lost in the story, and you keep writing. Before you know it, you've written like 10 pages, like in 2 hours, and never be discouraged. A lot of times people, it could be family members, it could be friends, co-workers, people tend to have a way of discouraging you, directly or indirectly. Just try not to pay attention to that and stay focused on your goals. And of course, have a timeline. I always like to have a timeline and say, I want this to be done in 6 months. I give myself a timeline. So even if I don't meet that timeline, then I know I'm close to it. So even if I'm late to the timeline, then I'll probably be late like maybe a month or 2 months later. But you have a timeline, it helps you. When you don't have a timeline, you're just there, like thinking that you have eternity to do that. So you just set all these goals and stay focused and do it. So when you have writer's block, it's okay to have writer's block. Just take time, relax, do something that relaxes your mind and your body, and hopefully the inspiration will be back.
Okay. Well, I think you are a real testament and a beautiful example of what someone who is determined and has a love of the arts can do. And more importantly, what you do helps so many, and especially our young people. And I think that that's so commendable. I have the utmost respect for you and admiration for you. I'm glad to know you. I'm glad to call you my friend. And we're so thrilled to have you today on Indie Beacon Show.
Thank you so much.
Again, my name is Mary Ann Faremouth. We've been talking to Nkem DenChukwu, and we will see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching the Indie Beacon Show, produced by B. Allen Bourgeois for the Authors Marketing International, LLC. Copyright 2022. Voiceover by B. Allen Bourgeois. If you would like to be a sponsor of the show, please contact us at authorsmarketing@outlook.com. If you would like to be on this show, it is free to authors. Simply fill out the form at indiebeacon.com. The music is provided by Happy Follows. The music is entitled